All right, I think we can kick off, and I hope others will also able to join. Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this event on behalf of International Institute of Business Analysis, Georgia chapter. Thank you for joining us, and we're glad to have you here today. So here's what we'll cover today, a brief agenda from our side. We'll start with a short introduction, then move into an overview of the CBDA certification, talk about its value, walk through the eligibility requirements and the exam format. And then our dear guest will be able to share some resources to help you prepare and some insights, her own experience, and we'll close with extra Q&A. Regarding Q&A is open throughout this entire session. One quick note, you need to use either Q&A button you see through Zoom or comments. We'll be able to read through both of them. So please use it anytime, not just wait till the end. If a question comes up in mind, just feel free to submit it right away. So, a quick introduction. My name is Mariam, and I'm Vice President of Professional Development at IABA Georgia chapter. And it's my pleasure to be hosting today's session. So now briefly about IABA and Georgia chapter. Let's start with a bit of a background. IABA has spent over 20 years shaping the future of business analysis, and globally, it has the presence with a community of more than 30,000 people, members across 120 chapters, and it's backed by a network of 1,500 volunteers and 500 corporate partners. And everything the organization does rests on the four core pillars. It is recognition, community, standards, and certification, obviously. So as of this moment, I'm pretty sure most of you are aware. Now about briefly about Georgia chapter, closer to home for us. Our chapter was established on September 7th last year. Since then, we've grown a team of 9 active and engaged chapter drivers. We have signed 8 memorandums with different establishments and held over 30 events, and we're still counting. We are young, but we're moving pretty fast, and we very much hope that you'll be able to follow us. Now, practical note before we move to the main content. Today's session qualifies as a continuing development unit. So you'll be able to earn 1 CEU per hour since this is a chapter event, and it counts towards your CBDA eligibility or any other certification where you might be able to use CDU. And to claim it, you just need to log into IABA's website, go to My Certifications, enter today's event details, and report your CDUs. And if you hit any snags along the way, just reach out to us through info@georgiaiaba.org. Now, about CBDA review, let's get into the main topic and overview of the CBDA itself. So it helps see CBDA next to IABA's other certifications. Well, at this point, I'm sure you know that ECBA is the entry point for those just starting in business analysis. CCBA is aimed at mid-level professionals with 2 or 3 years of practical BA experience. And CBAP is for senior professionals with 5 and more years. And CBDA sits alongside them as a specialist credential, let's say, built for BAs and analysts working on more on data-driven initiatives. So now let's move on to what is actually CBDA. So it stands for Certification in Business Data Analytics, offered by IABA, obviously. So in short, it recognizes your ability to effectively carry out analysis work in support of business analytics initiatives. And the target audience is quite broad. Those are business analysts, data scientists, engineers, project managers, consultants, developers, you tell me, testers, analytics professionals, more generally. And at its core, it validates your ability to use data analytics to support business initiatives, surface insights, and enable real data-driven decisions. So,
I'm sorry, are you sharing
yep,
the screen?
yep,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I can see it. That's why just
You need to switch the tab, Gunel.
okay. Maybe. Sorry,
Yeah,
just in case.
yeah. So, obvious question, why do you actually need to pursue CBDA? And why go for this long journey? Um, well, a few reasons that stand out based on the questionnaires that IBA has distributed or what we have heard. Obviously, there is a global recognition and a credibility, stronger employability that is pretty much attached, and the real potential for career growth and the salary increases in most cases. And in a nutshell, this demonstrates mastery of business data analytics, and it's increasingly in demand skill in the age of AI and data. So CBDA doesn't just prove you know analytics, it proves you can translate data into measurable business decisions, even in the face of complexity. So there's this quick saying about CBDA. Now, about eligibility requirements and pricing, let's talk real practicalities. There is no minimum work experience required, though IBA recommends at least 2 years in BA analytics work, and there are no formal prerequisites. It's open to BAs, data analysts, engineers, PMs, and analytics professionals, regardless of their profile. And regarding pricing, for Georgia, membership is $100, and if you're a member of a particular country, then you should be able to check about your membership pricing on IABA's website. There is no application. Yeah, this does not include the application fee. The exam itself is $250 for members and $405 for non-members. And the rewrite free fee is $195 for members and 350 for non-members. So you would guess that gaining a membership really makes a sense. And once you pay, you have 6 months to schedule and sit the exam with up to 3 attempts allowed. And the recertification runs on a yearly cycle and requires 20 CVUs plus the renewal fee. Now, regarding format, so finally, the main resource is IABA's Guide to Business Data Analytics, and our guests will be able to cover this in more detail. This covers both a practitioner's view and the organizational view. The exam has 75 multiple choice questions and scenario-based questions with 2 hours to complete it. It's online and remote proctored through PSI only. And those who are not aware, PSI is a test center, is the opposite of a test center option. You actually sit the exam at your home or at any familiar environment where it's only your presence. And PSI Proctor is able to check your environment. If everything is clear, you don't have any extra items around you, and the environment is more or less acceptable for them, then you can actually continue with the exam and finalize it. So there is always someone watching you and hearing whatever you do and whatever you say. So about the passing score, it's competency based. The passing score is not like a defined threshold. They weigh each domain area, so the evaluation is quite different based on one exam to the other, and even in between IABA certification exams. The exam is in English, but I think that mostly we use in English, but I believe there are some other options also through IBA website. And overall process is just you need to register on IAB's website, purchase the exam, study, schedule through PSI, and then just take the exam, hoping that you have the acceptable environment that is that can be marked green by PSI. Basically, this covers the overview from my side, and the next I'll happily handle things over to introduce our speaker, who will take you through her own CBDA journey and the exam content in more depth. So, Gunel, I will stop sharing my screen, and you can just start.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, let me know if you can hear me and you can see me. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Then I will put the slideshow here. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Okay, great. So hello, everyone. Today I'm your speaker and I will talk about CBDA exam mostly. So my name is Gunel. I'm working as a business analyst for more than 7 years. I have more than 10 years, already like more than 13 years of experience in IT overall. So last year I gained CBAP certification, and this year I get CBDA certification like 2 months ago. Also from my experience, I can say that I started to work as a software engineer, and then I had a lot of projects in data domain, and I started to work as a data analyst. But 13 years ago, like 10 years ago, we didn't have any distribution in positions. That's why I was also doing BA tasks. So that's why my switch was very like smooth from developer to data analyst and business analyst. About my education, I have a master in computer science. So that was a quick overview of myself. Okay, so I will talk about my CBDA journey a little bit today. So I passed CBDA, CBAP 1 year ago, more than 1 year ago. And as I said, I was working in the data domain a lot. That's why I thought that CBDA can be a good next certificate, next level that I can take. Again, 13 years ago, 10 years ago, we didn't have this distribution. That's why everything, starting from the sourcing data and building the data models and building the dashboards. So the full workflow of working with data was on me and like my team. We were a few people in this team. That's why it was very familiar for me, everything that was explained in CBDA guide. But as a business analyst, I was working like further with this data because you need to analyze the data, and based on the dashboards that you created or someone else created, you can see some insights, you can see some trends, and you can yourself give some recommendations or give some like recommendations to the stakeholders that you're working with, and they can make decisions based on the data, not just so these decisions will be based on the data. Again, as my current project is also data driven, I'm really happy that I can apply everything that I learned from my certification, like pass from my journey, and I can apply this in my day-to-day life and day-to-day routine at work. So we have 6 knowledge areas, like in BA Here we have 6 knowledge areas. In CBDA guide, it's smaller, but still I will just quickly cover what we have there in CBDA guide. So first, identify the research question. So here you have to define the business problem, the business need. It can be business problem or opportunity. So here we're just trying to understand what we are trying to solve. Sourcing data, the second knowledge area. Here we are trying to find the data that will help us to cover this first question that we already have. So analyzing the data, Here we are applying some techniques and creating some reports and dashboards based on that techniques. In the fourth knowledge area, interpret and report results, we are, first of all, we need to understand who are our stakeholders. So we have it here. We know who identified it. Them here, and now we analyze them, analyze their communication needs, and then based on the insights that we have, we communicate that insights to our stakeholders. So after that, using our results, we can influence to decision making. So here we have one of the most important part, where the data, source data, raw data, becomes something like an insight that can help us to make decisions. After that, based on all this knowledge, we applied that to our organizational strategy. So here we have organizational strategy, talent strategy, and data strategy inside of this knowledge area. After that, wanted to show you exam blueprint. So here you see the distribution of the questions, like percentage for each knowledge area, and most of the questions will be from identify the research questions, interpret and report results, and use results to influence business decision making. But I also wanted to mention that here a huge part of the questions, like they were related to the techniques, so you have to read the techniques very carefully. Here we don't have it as a knowledge area, but we have it as a topic, a huge topic in CBDA guide. So you also have to read that. So here in these sections, you will just see that these techniques are mentioned, and they will be explained in the details at the end of the CBDA guide, so later in the next chapter. Okay, here, the main idea of the whole CBDA guide and this certification is that we need to understand the data to be able to find some insights that will help us make decisions, and then to build a strategy. And then it will help our stakeholders to make actions and measure that actions. As said here, CBDA is a discipline, structured practice that turns raw data into some insights and decisions, and after that, actions. Let me share this. So I also wanted to share some comparison between CBDA and CBAP, because last year I get the first certification, and there is a lot of things to compare, because they're in some places they are similar, but they're very different at the same time. So CBAP is about full practice, full business analysis practice. It's very wide, it's very deep. And here we have, in BA book, we have a very deep explanation of all the business analysis techniques, and this certificate is mostly for seniors, and gaining this certification, you can prove your level of seniority. So CBDA is mostly for data analysts and data business analysts, and some people who are working with data already. So it's like a compact layer for the people who are working with the data-driven projects. Also, a lot of techniques that are mentioned in, not mentioned, but explained in details in CBAP, they were mentioned here. But we have a lot of techniques that are related with working with data. So it's just we have a lot of additional techniques that are working with data. And so here we are focused on data that gives us gives us the opportunity to make data-driven decisions. So, but together they work better. I can say that after CBAP, CBDA was a little bit easier. So CBAP is for sure one of the most hardest exams and certifications that IBA has, and even the book itself, it's like maybe 3 times bigger than CBDA guide. And I always was referring to CBAP when I was reading CBDA guide, because again, we have a lot of techniques that were mentioned here in CBDA, but if you want to see them in more details, you have to go and reread the book. Okay, here we can see the list of the literature and some sources for learning and preparing for CBDA. So first of all, is the guide to business data analytics. You can download that guide from IBA official site if you're a member. So after that was my main book. After that, we have Introduction to Business Data Analytics from a practitioner view and from organizational view. So here, this is a little bit like detailed version of this guide. So this guide is mostly helps us to prepare for the exam. So here we have some few more details than here. And after that, CBDA sample exam questions. So in the website of IBA, you can also take a test. Here we have only 10 questions. And when I decided to purchase my exam, I took that CBDA sample exam and I gained, I think, 80 or 70%. So that when I was preparing to CBAP, that was enough from the watermark perspective to have 70-80%. But still, there are just 10 questions here, so you can check if you're ready or not. So you can check it like from time to time to understand if you have some progress or not. IBA Knowledge Hub, here you have a lot of different literature, books, even recommendations that you can also read to be able to pass this exam, and some very useful additional information here. CBDA handbook is about about exam itself. So mostly what should happen in exam day, how you can prepare, all the literature, all the when you will get the certification, that it will be only for 1 year, and about recertification and so on. And CBDA competencies, here we have also on the website, we have knowledge areas, and you can see what should you know in order to check if you are ready for the exam or not. And reading, additional reading. So here you will see after the meeting, you will get this presentation, and you will also able to click on these links and be able to see all this additional literature. About the exam itself. First of all, you have to understand the structure of this exam, that you will have, we don't have any open questions there. All the questions has only one answer. So you have 75 questions, like Mariam mentioned. After that, you have to build the something like a guide for yourself. So here we have knowledge areas, techniques, and underlying competencies. Underlying competencies, so most of the questions will be about knowledge areas and techniques. Few questions there also will be about underlying competencies. So you have to review it continuously and make exam simulations. Also, you have IBA practice exam, and you have to review it like I was doing it after each knowledge area. So I was reading knowledge area, I was doing exam simulations, and you have to review it continuously. So I will share my key takeaways about the exam and my way to that exam. So first of all, you have to know that the guide is the source of truth. So even if you have a lot of years of experience, you have to rely on the guide first of all when you're answering the questions at the exam, because you may know that like you may have a lot of years of experience, but the best practice and the question that is at the exam, they will be the best answer will be still from the IBA guide. So you have to rely on it first of all. The CBDA test bank is small. I'm talking about Watermark because I was using Watermark for CBAP and CBDA both. But for CBDA, that test bank was very small. And I had to use also CBAP questions just to, if there are questions about some techniques, I was using CBDA exam mock exams to be able to broaden this test bank. After that, so this is the tip that I'm giving to everyone who is going to each exam from IBA. First of all, you have to, when you see the question, you have to identify the knowledge area of that question. So after that, for CBAP, you also have to identify, like here too, for CBDA too, you have to identify what is the task. So what is the knowledge area and what is the task? And then it narrows the answer. So if you know the knowledge area, so you will be able to remember the information that was in this knowledge area, and you will answer to this question faster. And you will increase the opportunity of having the right answer. Then you have to remember for CBDA that everything comes to data, insight, and decision. So every question should have its like beginning, initiation, beginning, and the process itself, the finding of the insight, and then making the decision. After that, I wanted to say that I was studying in group, both for CBAP and CBDA. So for CBAP, I joined to my friends' group study club. And here for CBDA, I will get used to work in groups. That's why I also, we have a group of 4 people. Yeah, we were preparing together to business analysts and to data analysts, and we were helping each other because some of the questions, they were clearly from business analysis and some of them were from data analytics. So we were helping each other to answer to the questions, like to answer our questions that we had after reading the CBDA guide, of course. And then I set a deadline. So this year in April, IABA had a campaign that if you take an exam till the end of the April, you also will have a second chance. So that decreased my stress a little bit. That's why I was like, I had a deadline for myself the end of the April, and I get it from the first try. So that was, but again, it decreases the stress a little bit. So we have there, like, who needs to take this exam and when it's the right time for getting that certification. So the best fit for business analysts who are moving into data-driven work or who are working already with the data in the data domain. Some product owners and project managers and product managers that are making data-driven decisions, data-based decisions, so it can help them too. For the analysts who, as I said, who are connecting data to the business data, business data to the business value, and consultants and engineers that are bridging the technical team and the business too, so that can help too. And when it's the right time. So when you already have some experience with the data analytics and you can apply already, you can understand from your experience, from your projects, all the things that are described in the CBDA guide. If you already work in there, but you want to standardize your approach, if your organization is investing in the data-driven decisions, and if you if you have more than 2 years of experience. So that is also needed here. And I think that was it from my side. So yeah, now I think it will be the question and answers section. So let me share. Let me stop sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me stop
Many
sharing.
thanks, Gunel. It was super interesting presentation, and I'm very grateful that you were able to share your own experience and journey. There are no questions probably yet in our Q&A sections or in the chat, but maybe I can ask you some of mine. So what actually made you decide to add CBDA on top of CBAP? What was the practical reason that you that assured you that you needed to pursue that along with CBAP? Because most of the members and applicants stop after pursuing CBAP. So would be great to understand your view.
Yeah, so from my side, as I said, I am working in the data domain, and that is my main domain that I'm working on. That's why, and I'm always need to have some proof that I'm professional in some of the domain. That's why that certification was like designed for me, because I use this everything that was described in CBDA guide. Most of these things I was using in my projects, and when I'm using something, I want to rely on something. So as with with CBAP, so if you have at least like more than 4 years of experience, you already can understand everything that is written here in CBAP. But some things like some things are new for you, like best practices. And when you are doing something like not is written in CBAP, you are consciously doing that. So you can select the best practice, or you can just do it by in your way, and you can understand why are you doing this way. Yeah, because again, BA book doesn't say that you have to do it in this way and that's it. So it's just a guide, as we have here, CBDA guide. So yeah, the main thing why I decided to have CBDA after CBAP is the data domain that I'm working in, and I wanted to be able to make these decisions based on something, relying on this best practices. That's why I think that this and this is pretty interesting. So yeah, so I think that it's very useful to have it.
Yeah, very clear. And was there something, and I believe there was, what was that you put into practice after now preparing for CBDA and vice versa? Did you have any practical experience that was useful for you to pass CBDA?
So now I'm working in a project where we are using all this, we are starting from the source data, all the steps that described here, the analyzing the data, creating the dashboards and making the insights from these dashboards. So we're using that, and I'm applying all the new types of graphs, first of all, because even if I was working as a data analyst, still I have some specific, number of graphs that I was using. The most popular, like pie chart, bar chart, and like now I started to use bullet chart, scatter plot. So it's interesting how you are gaining a lot of new techniques, like octopus. You have different types of visualization that you can bring in the project. And also I wanted to say that it was obvious to me when I was reading the CBDA guide, because it's like my routine work. So it was very similar to me. It was like very the things that I already do right now. And also I wanted to say that so in BA book we don't have it's not like for project managers where we have the project initiation and steps of the project. So here, all the work is continuous. So you can have a planning, and then you can go to elicitation of requirements, and then you have a new stakeholder, and you have to go back to the planning. So it's like a continuous work, and it never ends. Even after we have a real solution, we have to evaluate that. So we have solution evaluation in BABOK. But when I started to have mentees, and I started to think about what I am doing first in the projects, here in CBDA guide, I found the answer. So here they have it as a steps. First, you have to identify the business need. After that, you have to identify your stakeholders. After that, you have to think about your current state. After that, the future state, risks, and after that, identify the questions that will help you to solve the issue. So here you have this steps. And usually when you're coming to the new project, you are starting with the stakeholders. So you need to understand who are your stakeholders to be able to find the answers to your questions. So having the wrong stakeholders and right questions will not help you. So, but having the right stakeholders and wrong questions at the first meeting, it will not. It's not a disaster. So they will lead you if you find the right people. Yeah. So this was very useful too.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have one question. Hello, I would like to ask, how do you find the CBDA certification overall? Did you feel it is practical and useful for everyday application, especially in real business analysis or data-related work? Thank you for inspiring and interesting presentation.
Yeah, so that is totally useful in day-to-day life. Because again, I see that some of the people there are just getting the certificates just to get this, in order to get the certificates. This is not my case. I want to take something that will help me to work. So BABOK is there on my table, and I'm using it like every day. I also can share my boards that I prepared for the exams, both for BABOK and CBDA guide. So you can see some, like I also can share it with you. I can send the links because I wanted to see the scope. So for me, it's very useful to see the scope when I'm getting the certification and to see the scope of my work. So CBDA guide is also on my table always since April, since January, even when I started to prepare for certification. So that's why it's very useful for and the main thing that it's useful, the way that you are going in order to get this certification. This is the main thing. And I was thinking, like from the last year, I was thinking that this is my thought. But then I shared that with you. I rewatched one of the podcasts that one of the main business analysts in Ukraine was sharing. He said that your first day when you started to prepare for this exam for CBAP or CBDA, and the day before your exam, so imagine you have three dots in the timeline. First is the first day when you started to prepare, the last day before exam, and the next day after you gain the certification. So the biggest gap will be between the first day when you started to learn and the day before the exam. Here you will have a huge progress. After that, after you get the certification, of course, you have some satisfaction. You can share that. You have some, you prove yourself that you know this, that you can apply this. But this way, and this time that you're spending to get the certification gives you the highest value. Why you need this certificate. And so after that, you should apply this. You should apply this in your work. Otherwise, you will just forget everything. And why did you do this. So I did this only for my work, to increase the value of my work, increase the and I wanted to be confident in what I'm doing. That's why I totally recommend both of these certificates. And data is very popular right now, so you can work. You can, even if you're not working in the data domain, you can use everything that is written in this guide.
Did you receive any tangible evaluation after passing the CBDA exam?
After CBDA, no, but after CBAP, yes. Yeah, so it took me 1 year to, like, it was 1 year difference between these two certificates. Yeah, so after CBAP, yes.
Okay, so in a nutshell, a CBDA is not a certificate to have just in case.
Yeah.
Based on this is what I understood from you. We actually have to have something to do with the data in order to pursue it, right?
Yeah, we have to do something with data. So if you in your organization you have some dashboards that you can work with, then you can get this. If you have some access to BI tools, like business intelligence tools, and you can create some reportings, or you have the access to the database. I always had. That's why it was okay for me to work with the data. Even when I was working as a product owner, I was searching for some bugs in the database. That's why, like, everything is data driven for me. Thank you for inspiring. Yeah, I'm
that was
reading
the
the question
question.
in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a tiny question for myself. Out of the knowledge areas that were listed on the presentation, which one do you think trips up the candidates the most? Yeah, how would you evaluate each knowledge area against each other?
So I think the most tricky is interpret results, and I will tell you, interpret and report results, maybe, and also use that results to influence business decision making. So that is a little bit like huge topic. And here we had a lot of questions. From the real exam, we had a lot of questions from the first, research questions from the first knowledge area. And that was about, so we have types of analytics, like descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. So you have to know it. We had a lot of questions from that, and questions itself, they were like case study questions, some text describing some situation, and you have to understand which technique should be applied there. After that, again, a case study, and then some analysis was done, and you have to understand which type of analysis, like descriptive, prescriptive, or like which type of analytics was done, and a lot of techniques. And techniques were both business analysis, like clear business analysis techniques, and data analytics techniques. So data storytelling, we had a lot of questions about that. And also wanted to mention, like, in our study group, we had two people, like 2 data analysts and 2 business analysts. And while we were helping each other to understand some techniques, I understood that I always need to refer to BAPOC. And again, having CBDA after CBAP was like really more easy because you understand what is expected from you from IBA, because you understand the mindset of IBA. Like in each exam, you have to understand the mindset of the company. And what I wanted to say, so yeah, that was easy. That was, of course, it was easier from the time perspective, because for CBAP, you have 3.5 hours. Here you have 2 hours. it was more stressy. So I started to remember what I also wanted to say about the exam itself. So exam itself, you can have only online version for CBDA, and that is more stressful for me because I want to rely on some exam center. So if we have any issues with internet or with like anything with the website, it will not be only my responsibility. That's why, but here it was only my responsibility, and I accidentally put my exam on 1:30 a.m. because I didn't realize that they have this AM and PM. So I just thought that, okay, in center you can't have AM. So I just clicked on AM, and then I realized that like one day earlier, when I, of course, because of the stress, I wanted to reschedule it like 1 hour later to 1 hour later, just in case that I can. I was able to reschedule that, and then I saw the message that, oh, you are not allowed to reschedule that, and then I realized, oh, okay, so I have it tomorrow at night. So that was also stressy a little bit. Yeah, I'm working with the American clients, so usually I'm not sleeping at that time, but on that day I wanted to sleep from 10 p.m. So yeah, so that was really stressful to have this at home. Yeah, so I prefer to do it in an exam center.
Gunel, there's one more question in the Q&A section. I think the CBDA is also useful for people who oversee data-related processes, even if they're not directly working as data analysts, or maybe not.
I think that it's useful. It's useful. Again, I'm not a data analyst right now. I'm a project manager slash lead business analyst, a team lead business analyst. So our team, we are working with requirements. We're creating the requirements, and our project is just related to the data. And I'm helping them to create the ERDs, like entity relational diagrams. So I'm also involved in the project. Even if I'm a project manager, I'm trying to bring a lot of as much as I can to the project. That's why even in QA processes, when you have the acceptance of the data that you are processing, you have to visualize that. You have to help with, I'm sorry for the background noises, you have to prepare the test cases, you help prepare the test cases for QA team, and it's really useful. Even if you're not a data analyst, I'm not a data analyst right now.
Yeah, great. And then there is another question. Would you recommend going through the BABOK guide even again before the CBDA exam, or are the questions mainly based on the CBDA specific learning materials as we shared in the presentation? And to help, I have a follow-up question. How much of CBDA was genuinely new material compared to your CBAP experience and what you learned from CBAP?
So unfortunately, I have to say that you have to read BA book, but not unfortunately, you have to read BA book if you're a business analyst, because this is for me that is the best book I ever read from business analysis, because it has everything, all the answers, like with the small sentences. But if you already have some experience, you can understand that. So as I mentioned, a lot of techniques, they were mentioned in CBDA guide, but you can find the description in details only in CBAP. So all this, like for example, lean Canva, or like Canva, business Canva technique. I think that it also was on the exam, and it was like describing. So you prepared for your clients, the audience, and every elements that you have in Canva, and it was like asking, what is the technique that you should prepare for your stakeholders, something like that. So it was like this. So you have to understand, you have to work with these techniques to be able to answer to the question. That's why it's called like business data analyst. And yes, you have to reread the BA book. I was also from the watermark perspective, I was using watermarks for CBAP. to be able to refresh everything in my mind. But from the percentage perspective, I think that this is like 60 and 40. 40% is new material, totally new material, because even some tasks, names of the tasks are like coming from the BA book. So, for example, current state, future state, identify stakeholders. Some of the tasks they were like exactly communication needs, for example, exactly like in BA book. But a little bit like tiny version, little. It's less, much less in CBDA guide, much less information. So you have to refer to BA book, and it's like 40% CBDA. It can be like 50-50, 50-50, okay, but yeah, 50-50, yeah, because the basis for this certification is BA book. So you have to understand mindset of BA book to be able to get CBDA. Yeah. So, but in case if you will read everything that is written, and like the IBA website is giving you the direction, so you have to read this and this and this. You will be able to gain the certification, but it's much easier when you have when you read BA book and you have CBAP.
Clear. Many thanks, Gunel.
Thank you.
Wait for a moment for if our attendees have any other questions. My wrap-up question would be, what's the thing that you wish someone had told you before you started studying for? Let's actually divide this question for your two certifications, for CBAP and for CBDA. Maybe there was an insight that came to your mind or someone shared to you after you have passed both, and you wish you had known them earlier.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's very interesting journey, and you will miss that. The preparation way, you will also miss that. Because this is also a very interesting part of your life. And for me, I just love this educational stuff, the preparation for some exams. But maybe some people they don't like it. I like it. That's why if you like it, it will be very interesting for you. But yeah, so I just was expecting very high level of satisfaction after my exams, but it was so stressful for me, like the preparation time, that I felt it only like few months later. Yeah, so that was the thing that I want to. Don't stress. Don't stress too much, because it will just eat your happiness after you gain that. And also wanted to. I wanted to say something. Let me remember that. So yeah, after that, I wanted to advise, if you already have the certification, you can share that with other people. So in my case, it works like this. I gained the certification, the first one, and then 1 month later, I started to understand that I already, if I'm not applying these techniques, I have to explain that to someone. That's why I started to have this clubs, like group study clubs and group sessions, just for some specific topics. So, for example, requirements prioritization, or like so working with stakeholders. So you explain this to someone, and you understand more and more, and you remember everything. So after that, after you have the certification, please share with someone else to be able to keep all this information.
Yeah, great recommendation. I believe there are no other questions, and we have covered all those that popped up. Many thanks, Gunel. Many thanks again for joining us, for leading this presentation about CBDA and sharing your knowledge and experience and your brilliant journey. And I hope you have gained followers from these group of attendees. Your speech was quite inspiring and very attractive. So I'll definitely follow you. I was following you before, but yeah, in more thoroughly. And I think any of us can come back to you to get some
Sure.
more insights or recommendations or yeah, to just share personal experience more. Many thanks, Gunel. Many thanks for our
Thank you.
attendees for joining our event today. And yeah, tomorrow will be a happy day, happy Friday
Happy
as well.
Friday.
So yeah, happy Friday and have a great weekend, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank
Yeah,
you.
goodbye.
Bye.